Hey, it's Dave. Welcome back to the channel. So this week, I've gone down yet another rabbit hole. This time, I found a show on YouTube called Behind the Vinyl. And it's put out by some radio station, I think, in Canada. And they basically have people on the show talking about either their hit song or about them, what was going on when that song came out, if they didn't write it. I watched a few of the Styx' Dennis DeYoung. And, I always make fun of the Dennis DeYoung songs and Styx. I was always like, you could tell if someone's straight or gay by which songs they like, if they like the Dennis DeYoung songs. And all joking aside, I never loved Styx, but I enjoyed them. I mean, they were like a band that was there. And, one of the iconics. I mean, I probably liked them a little bit more than REO Speedwagon. And I always liked songs like Blue Collar Man, Too Much Time on My Hands, Renegade, Fooling Yourself. And, I like some of the Dennis DeYoung songs, but I do have to say that as a person, Dennis was really cool. I actually liked him as a person. I think he's self-deprecating, he's funny, and he wrote some pretty iconic stuff. And, when you think about back then, like Come Sail Away, which I always kind of thought was like, I think it's kind of one of their better songs. But just to hear him talk about it and put himself down and he also talks about where he drew things from. There's a couple of references to Pete Townsend. I really found him likable. I just want to say that, maybe I gave him a too hard of a time, although all I have to do is go back and listen to Kilroy Was Here, that album, and I'll be right back on the hating Dennis DeYoung bandwagon. But anyways, I watched this and I was like, this guy's all right. I like him. I liked his personality. I also think that Rick Emmett had a couple of great things to say, talking about songs, some of which I found were silly. And, but they were there in the middle of it doing it. Songs like Magic Power, although Lay It on the Line he talks about, and I love that song. It's very interesting, especially now to see them as older guys. And he's talking about it from a point of view of, some of the things he would have changed in the songs. And it's really a great little 4-minute video to watch. I highly recommend checking it out. There were some other cool ones I saw. Paul Young, who talks about having a sitar on the record. But what he didn't bring up was how he came across the song Every Time You Go Away, considering it's a Hall & Oates song, and I know Hall & Oates weren't really happy with the way his version came out, but I wish they kind of went into that a little bit. But either way, it's a really, really cool show. You should check it out. Also, recently, I did a live event, and we were talking about years of music, and somebody brought up 1971, this guy Tom. And the more I look into it, man, 1971 is a great year. I'm going to have to do the year in music 1971. Even just what was going on back then as far as music. Because you had stuff like The Who and Zeppelin putting out some of the biggest iconic records. And Elton John releasing a few albums that year. But also, you have stuff like The Carpenters and Barbra Streisand. And speaking of which, I didn't really bring up her best album, came out in 1980, which has been always my favorite year in music, is 1980. Also, I've been listening to a lot of Teddy Pendergrass lately, and my favorite song by him, Love TKO, is from his album in 1980. But 71's a great year. I already did 80. I've done 81. I know I'm going to do 77, 78, and 79, important years, and 82. I think I'm going to have to drop down to 71, maybe 74, but 71 first for sure. Just so much great music then. For me, I have to say I really got into music in 1979, 1980 is when a light went on and I was like so into music. So that's why that year is so important to me, because back then when the stuff was coming out, I didn't really know that this was new music. It was all new to me. And so as years go by and I start looking back, when did that come out? I'm like, 80. God. Well, when did that come out? 80. It's funny to me. The other thing is, so I don't know what I'm going to do with my in the listening room thing because it's not working for me. I think if I were locked in a room and somebody forced me to play something, that I would have to listen to it. Otherwise, I just don't have the patience. Most of the stuff that I'm hearing where people are suggesting to me, I hate. And it's like, that's really not a show. So I might do songs to me that are iconic. I haven't decided yet, but something will change. That being said, if you get a chance, look up Behind the Vinyl. It's fun stuff. Thanks so much for watching my channel and supporting my channel. If you'd like to follow me on Facebook, you can go to Dave's Guitar Channel on Facebook. On Instagram, it's Dave_Levine. And I thank you, and as always, very good.